If it was up to me, like we keep on saying, we want to see Benavidez. Canelo, hell of a fighter. But
if it were up to me, we would always say that we want to see Ben Bennett's, who is a fierce fighter from Canelo. But in my opinion, he is ducking Ben's. You know, that's just my opinion, and I'm free to express it. Let's just say that we want to see Ben's. Edgar Berlanga is up against Canelo Alvarez, and Floyd Mayweather recently gave a detailed analysis of the fight, stating that he thinks Edgar Berlanga has what it takes to win. Mayweather stressed that although Canelo is an experienced and accomplished boxer, Vieira's aggressive style and determination make him a formidable opponent. He highlighted Berlanga's youth power and hunger as important factors that could pose serious challenges for Canelo, who is currently regarded as one of the top fighters in the sport. In the meantime, Bernard Hopkins is confident that Canelo Alvarez will defeat Edgar Berlanga via knockout. Coming into the fight as a significant underdog, Berlanga hopes to pull off a stunning upset over one of boxing's most well-known superstars. So it should come as no surprise that Hopkins, a former world champion himself, has predicted Canelo will win and keep his championships. Mayweather's breakdown suggests that he sees the potential for an upset if the two fighters were to square off. There are many great Mexican fighters that I just take my hat off to, fighters that paved the way, you know, for me to be where I'm at in life. Hopkins predicted that Canelo would defeat the knockout in 6 or 7 rounds. If you ask me who I'm betting on, I'll go with Canelo, since on Mexican Independence Day, the undisputed champion will defend his WBC, WBO, and WBA crowns. I could be wrong, but I doubt anything can go right. Canelo will talk about this profitable fight. In an interview with Fight Hub TV, Jose Benavidez Sr., the father of David Benavidez, expressed his hopes that Berlanga will end what he calls Canelo's strangling hold on the division. He stated that he was rooting for Berlanga to defeat Canelo because he believed it would open up opportunities for others in the division to compete for the title, even though Ben Sr. lost the IBF title. If Berlanga hands Canelo a decisive defeat, he will be able to sleep easy at night. Ben Aid Sr. expressed his opinion that Canelo has been holding onto this belt for a while. They have already removed 1, but he still has 3. If Berlanga can defeat him, I'll be delighted. As boxing fans eagerly await the return of their beloved superstar Canelo Alvarez as he steps back into the ring for a monumental title, the young contender appeared alongside UFC veterans Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo on their popular Pound for Pound podcast, where he unveiled his strategy for taking on Canelo this week. The UFC is taking over the globe for its largest live event yet. Battle Royale Edgar Berlanga, the mandatory challenger for the WBA, is scheduled to face the 27-year-old in what is anticipated to be the biggest fight of his career. The challenger recently discussed the highly anticipated showdown with Alvarez, promising to push the Mexican legend to the limit. Speaking on the Pound for Pound podcast, the Puerto Rican fighter disclosed his strategy to capitalize on his reach advantage in an effort to dethrone the champion. Berlanga intends to dominate with his jab, managing the distance and setting up opportunities to land clean shots in the hopes of surprising the champion, just like Bivol did. This fight has all the makings of a summer blockbuster, but despite all of Berlanga's confidence, there's a reason why every kid knows Canelo's name. He's a dangerous man, especially when fighting on Mexican Independence Day weekend with thousands of people in the crowd hungry for blood and Berlanga poised for the sacrifice. Having learned from the light heavyweight champion, Berlanga is extremely self-assured and has vowed to exact revenge on the winner. He said, "I'm the bigger guy, I'm longer, I'm stronger. He's going to try to break my arms down, and I've got the power to knock him out." Diego Pacho will be watching closely as Edgar Berlanga and Canelo Alvarez conflict, hailed as one of the best boxers in the world. Pico returned to the ring this past weekend to take on Moxey. Pico's victory moves him closer to a significant opportunity and gives him a say in the fight's outcome this month. Speaking on Matchroom's Flash Knockdown podcast, Pacho stated, "I think Canelo will stop him. I think Berlanga will maybe do better the first 3 rounds. I feel like once Canelo has found his rhythm and has found Barra's timing, he'll get him out of there. While Pacho is eager to move on to bigger fights after defeating Max Sealy in the 6th round, Matchroom boxing promoter Eddie Hearn appears to have other plans after defeating Selly. Pacho is now the mandatory challenger for the winner as he has risen to the top of the WBO rankings. Winning the recent fight between Canelo Alvarez and Edgar Berlanga, the 23-year-old even threw down a challenge to Canelo. However, Hearn thinks that another fight ought to come before this one, and he suggests that Monja would be the perfect opponent to heal the division. After the fight, Donovan utilized X to disseminate Hearn's words among his supporters. Hearn disclosed that Monja Pacho offers cryptocurrency to Camara. Oscar De La Hoya and I don't always get along, but since Monja departed Golden Boy and is now in the top position, perhaps we can have a fight about that. Despite that loss, Monja is expected to make a significant comeback after losing to Canelo in May. Monja signed a multi-fight co-promotional deal with Top Tier on September 20. He will take on Eric Binion and Phoenix in his next fight. Prior to that, Monja had competed in 16 fights under the Golden Boy Promotions banner in collaboration with Zanfer Promotions. It looks like he's now in line for top rank going into his next fight. But facing Monja will test Pacho's mettle, given Mia's wealth of experience. Hearn is certain that Pacho needs to face such a strong foe in order to prepare for the big showdown that will come after the Canelo vs. Berlanga bout. But what options does Pacho still have in the event that those fights don't take place? Diego Pacho, a rising star in the super middleweight division, has made public his 3-man hit list ahead of his fight against Maciej Sealy. Pacho has an undefeated record of 220 with 18 knockout wins. Pacho is committed to defeating elite challengers and establishing himself as the best competitor in the MB division. Billy, I'm prepared to take on any of the many skilled fighters that I may encounter in the future. PCO expressed his readiness to take on the division's top players. PCO, who is ranked 1st by the WBO and 4th by the WBC, believes that if he continues to win these fights, it will unavoidably happen that, in 5 years, I will be dominating the 168-pound division, unifying it, and eventually becoming undisputed. Tim Bradley asserts that Canelo Alvarez will defeat Edgar Berlanga to make an example of him, but Diego Pacho will have to wait patiently for his opportunity to take on Canelo Alvarez and win the 3 belts. In the interim, it's unclear if Monja will consent to enter the ring with Pacho. Although pundit Bradley feels that Berlanga has the experience necessary to take on Canelo, the WBC and WBO super middleweight champion, he struck gold by seizing this chance. Bradley, a fervent supporter of although he doesn't compete at 168 PBS and would be moving up 2 weight classes without any ranking or experience in that division, Terence Crawford would have preferred to see him win the fight. However, even though Berlanga isn't titled shot material,